I didn't speak English for a very long time in my life. I must tell you that there is really no shortcut to all of this, but if you do try, and if I could, with all my learning disability of partial dyslexia, coming from a small town, no financial backup, if I could do it, so can you. Hi, I'm Sabyasachi Gorai, and I'm standing in front of you today. It's been a very fascinating long journey, and I want to share some of my stories, thinking that might just excite you. I came from this really small town of Asansol. It's back of beyond coal miners town. And when you say coal miners, you must understand it's arid, it is dry, it is devoid of modern civilization. I grew up in a really small family, a humble, middle class. We like to call it middle class. It could always be called a lower middle class. Dad went to a small government office. Mom's a school teacher. I went to a Bengali school for the longest time. And this is the catch. I didn't speak English for a very long time in my life. Today I'm speaking to you, but this transformation happened at the age of 21. So if I could do this, I'm sure so can you. So it was a very basic, simple upbringing, middle-class family, small job, small salary, small dreams. I got my first job at the age of 18. I started working because I realized that if I didn't work, there was no future for me. My mom had passed away. It was just after the 12th exam. And 500 rupees seemed a lot, and I was also promised free lunch along with that. So I started my life with the 500 rupees and the free lunch and my broken bicycle. So it was the humble 500 rupee with the beginning I started, but I always had a problem with my learning. So it was the language, it was Sanskrit, it was English, it was mathematics. I was always puzzled where to go, what to do, because from a family where my dad's a scholar, mom's an artist, sister is a phenomenal student. For me, I was always like the black sheep of the family, as in no education, failing in almost all subjects, bad result at the 12th, and post-mom passed away, it was extremely difficult for me to even fathom life ahead of me, that where should I go, who should be the one I should be looking up for inspiration. I would bang my head across different spaces. For 2-3 years, it was primarily just talking, seeing, meeting people. Nothing really came out. And then I came across this profession of the hotel school or the catering school. And I was told that you don't really need to have good education. You just need to be intelligent. You need to be smart. You need to have good logical deduction. Interestingly, the entrance exam was not like any of the other exams, like the medicals or the engineering. And the exam was all about multiple choice questions. And it was easy for me because I was very logically strong. I was always a team player. I was always a good leader. I had very strong logic. So I cracked the exam. I was in the hotel school. But again, I was pushed back at the end of the class because I didn't have the right clothes. I didn't speak English. I didn't have the right shoes. My hair grooming was not perfect because I came from a very small town where these things were not taught. We were not taught on how to walk, what to wear. We had no idea of what is Nike or what is the difference between a sneaker and a floater. 3 years of struggle all over again. But the one thing that bailed me out was my confidence, my zeal for hard work, and my belief that if you work hard, you can do it. So I put my heads down and put the 3 years of extreme hard work, and little did I realize that my upbringing from the art and the music background would suddenly help me express myself in the field of food. And here I am today, standing in front of you, talking to you as owner of India's 2 of the finest restaurant chains, that is Lavash by Sabi and Minority by Sabi. Super proud of you presenting these 2 spaces, from a journey that started about 25 years back. There is a fascinating little story. I always feel funny, but today when I look back, it seems funny. It wasn't that funny then. At my college graduation, I realized that we always had to wear this jacket that you're seeing me today. It's really fancy, but we had to just wear a jacket and wear nice shoes. I had none, and my dad had retired, and I had no money to buy myself anything fancy, so I had a borrowed jacket, and I had the borrowed shoes, and I can tell you that today, when I look back, I realize that that was extremely humble beginning. I almost remember that friend of mine who I borrowed it from, and when I gave it back, I had lost 2 of these buttons because those days we used to wear a double-breasted jacket. And today, if I look or I think, what I always want is that I want to meet him all over again and present him with a new jacket, because that probably gave me the first start in my life, in my campus. So it was, again, a very humble beginning, getting into the industry. Again, as you come out of college, industry is very unforgiving, and I came from this really small town of Asansol straight into Bombay. My first job in Mumbai, at Juhu. Again, I'm struggling with my grooming. Again, I don't speak English. And now in Bombay, if you don't speak English, it's very, very tough. So I really had to go through these difficult time of learning how to speak English, learning how to tie a tie, knot, learning how to wear a jacket properly, how to behave yourself. So I had to go through these behavioral grooming classes. So I really had to put my heads down again all over and go through the process. So I must tell you that there is really no shortcut to all of this, but if you do try, and if I could, with all my learning disability of partial dyslexia, coming from a small town, no financial backup. If I could do it, so can you. So it's primarily about embracing all the failure and getting up and walking all over again. There are time and again that I felt that I'm not good enough, and I should give up because it's at times it's demeaning, at times it is difficult. It also makes you feel sad at times because you feel others are gifted or they are very lucky compared to who you are and what you are. And then suddenly you again have to start telling yourself, standing in the front of the mirror, that no, I have it, and I can do it, and I will do it, and it's primarily my hard work which will get me there. I must tell you this, something very simple, learning from my own life, that when your chips are down, you're constantly looking for inspiration, you're constantly hoping there would be somebody who will give you a helping hand, or there'll be God, there'll be luck. But I think it's always good to look within and find your own strength and do things to motivate yourself. And there is absolutely no shortcut, or there's absolutely no second to hard work. So I always believed in my own self, and I always put my hard work. Today I'm running 2 of these fascinating new restaurants, doing various other things. I am also a President's Award-winning chef. I'm also mentoring various young people. So when I look back today, I personally feel that all the weaknesses that I grew up with, that is my learning disability, that is my financial issues, that is my grooming, all of those, today I've turned them into my strengths. So the learning disability is something that where I felt that I also have an ability of seeing things better than others because I don't really read well, or I don't really write well. So I see better, I smell better, I have a better taste palette. So I started using all of these. So I feel it is very important to always look within yourself and find that one thing that you feel confident, that gives you the strength, and not feel that, oh, I don't have it, or oh, I wish I had that magical ability. We are all gifted. I think we are all made equal. It's just our initiative that makes us different, or it is the hard work that takes us from point A to point B. So we should constantly believe that we are all equal. We're all born alike. It's just that how big I think or how big I dream is where I go. So I would also tell you that don't dream small. So I was just, as we started talking, I was remembering that my father, who came from Asansol, and for the only time that he had come to Delhi, the small memory that he carried back home, and I grew up with that memory as a childhood, that he saw Qutub Minar, and that was his memory. And I grew up as a kid in this small little home in Asansol, never traveling out of this small town, remembering that I should go sometime to New Delhi and see Qutub Minar. And as luck would have, today, my restaurant is right at the foothills of Qutub Minar, and it is 28 years since then that I've traveled. I've managed to secure my own place, managed to buy a fascinating property right in front of Qutub Minar to open my own restaurant. So, thank you. So if I could do, starting with a humble 500 rupee and a broken bicycle, I'm sure so can you. So very few basic pointers that I would like to leave you with, and I would like to leave you with this thought that don't dream small. Dream with your eyes open. Work towards your dream, but do dream big, because there's absolutely no limitation in your dreams. Second, don't be scared of your hard work. Be focused, work hard, and at every step, always measure that where you have to go and work towards your goal. And please believe the most important thing in life is attitude. If you have the right attitude, you are going to definitely going to make it. So have the right attitude, be positive, and work towards your goal. Hi, if you like my life's journey and my stories, do share this video, do comment, and do subscribe to Josh Talks. Thank you.